Do you remember?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? And welcome to the first podcast. My name's Sam, and I'm with my co-host.
Sorry.
Fuck's sake. Follow him on Twitch, The Bacon Awakens.
Follow Sam on Gertie TV.
Yeah, okay, alright. So basically we're making a podcast because we just talk a load of bollocks the whole time, and we thought we'd record it because like about 12 people who listen to this might enjoy it.
And just before we carry on, I just want to point out, we were doing some audio tests. Now, I got Sam to speak how loud he was going to actually speak, and he totally just fucked that. So I do apologise if everything you've just heard is completely fucked, because...
No, that's perfect, mate. That's what they want to hear.
They want to hear absolutely ear rape.
Yeah, bro, why not, bro? Is it going mental?
It's so girthy right now.
That's fucking quality. Well, my plan was to start the podcast by talking about Comic-Con's just happened. We've had an Aquaman trailer, we've had a Shazam trailer, we've had loads of news, and then we've also had Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin?
I think he likes it either way, you know. Legend has it is
Joaquin Phoenix, anyway, has been cast as the Joker in an Origins movie with Martin Scorsese producing it, which has me so rock hard that I don't know what to do with myself. And then I find out Simon has not read anything on it. So we kind of fucked this start. So for the 12 people listening, I'm really sorry. But leave it to Simon to explain himself for this catastrophe.
So this catastrophe started when, for fuck's sake. Basically, I've just become horribly addicted to Fortnite and porn. Basically, I haven't been following much. Like I haven't been following much online. I've been addicted to prequel memes, so Star Wars prequel memes.
That's something that was announced. They're making the Clone Wars again.
Yeah. So that's sick.
You
That's
saw
sick.
that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I've never watched the Clone Wars. I never got into it. I watched like 2 episodes of Rebels and was like, I can't fucking deal with it.
Clone Wars was actually sick. You know, there's a lot more depth in the story. Like you got to know the characters. I don't know if you ever played Star Wars Republic Commando.
No.
Came from what I believe from the Clone Wars. It's where you have this pack of 4, each one sort of specialized. So I think that would be sick. My biggest worry is that it's Disney and they're kind of PG-13. They want to appeal to everyone. And
was the Clone Wars like that, or was it different? Was it more like?
Well, the thing is, it's just like I feel like Clone Wars obviously did target, you know, a younger demographic.
Yeah.
But it also had some like older elements in it. Whereas Disney, I kind of feel like, especially with the new films, they've sort of veered it to very like new audiences and veered it to very much younger audiences.
Yeah.
If that's even fucking possible. But it's just like, as an example, with the recent films, if they took a book out of, you know, like The Dark Knight and had a little dark twist on it, it would have been 10 times better. Whereas instead they the way I sort of feel about it, it's just too plain.
I feel though generally films have gone lighter since kind of Marvel, because you look at what DC tried to do going dark in like was it Man of Steel and then Justice League, and then Justice League they kind of Batman v Superman, and then in Justice League they tried to change it round again and no one liked it again, and so films have kind of got that lighter again. Like even Kingsman, fake James Bond, is that kind of wackiness, and I think after Daniel Craig's final James Bond, I think it's going to go to that wackiness again. I think that's just the trend in what's happening in films anyway. And yeah, I think Disney have made it like kind of more for children and stuff, but I think films in general are going that kind of weirder, oversaturated kind of look.
I think for me it's just the worry is that like, okay, so unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, I think they were one of the first films to bring in this lighter look, or you could say Deadpool, where effectively they brought in this sort of lighter humor, but it did also have depth. Whereas like the new Star Wars film, if we were going back to that, it just didn't have great depth, because it's like you knew no matter what these guys were going to get through. Whereas if you look back in the previous films, like, yeah, you know, you think they're going to get through it. However, there's like, you fear the dark side. You know, Darth Vader, you just feared the living shit out of him because he was an actual, like, a solid villain. Whereas you look at the recent films, there's like Kylo Ren, he's sick. However, they underpower him so fucking
Yeah,
much.
I think Kylo Ren is actually the best Anakin Skywalker that there is.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he should have been Anakin. Yeah, but that's I guess that's Star Wars news wrapped up, because I couldn't give less of a shit these days about
Don't
it.
try it.
Fuck's sake. Nah, but I don't know. You know, I watched the last one and I was like, if it ended here, I probably wouldn't care. I haven't bothered seeing Solo or anything like that. I just
Don't get me started
I'm
on
kind
it.
of burnt out, to be fair.
I agree.
I've never been so gassed when they released the Force Awakens first trailer.
Yeah, that was sick.
I was running around like everywhere going, "Ah!"
I literally, because I went to the first screening at the
Yeah.
IMAX.
Yeah,
I queued
yeah,
up
yeah.
till midnight, realised we fucked the tickets, waited till 3 a.m. for the next one. But it was just like, it was so sick. You had people, like, really chubby people dressed up as Obi-Wan. Everyone was
Incredible.
there, Darth Maul. Everyone was so hyped and gassed.
Yeah,
And I feel like Force Awakens was good. They missed a few opportunities, but I think it was still
I mean,
good.
it was A New Hope Part 2.
Yeah.
Like, it was just...
And
but
then-
I guess they kind of had to do that to...
Whereas I
Get it
think the
going.
2 films after that was just kind of like they were retreading old ground. And I know we've basically had this discussion before about the Han Solo film. I quite liked it. Hold on, got a burp. I quite liked it because I was going to cut that bit out.
No, leave it in.
So yeah, I quite like. So I loved Han Solo because I thought you got to go in the character to a really like whole new depth. Obviously, you did backtrack a lot of ground, but I think they did it in a lot smarter way.
Right, yeah.
Compared to, you know, I think it was Rogue One, or the.
But
whatever
they sacked
last
the
one was.
director, Rogue One. I mean, that's what they've been doing. They've been hiring directors who were kind of creative. Like Gareth Edwards, his scale is really good. And then they sacked him and then kind of refilmed a lot of it. So we're not seeing the true vision of these directors. It's kind of like a mishmash and then painted
And that's
by
what I think they're
numbers.
doing wrong because
Yeah.
it's like every director has
Was it
their
Gareth
own.
Edwards who did Rogue One? I don't know. Whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I can't be bothered to Google it.
neither do
so.
I. Neither can I. But it's like I think they're trying to be cool and getting new independent directors in per film, and
Yeah.
I think whilst that's a great idea, it's like if you're doing a series, like that's supposed to correlate with each other. Like, okay, if it's a spin-off, fine, that's fine, because obviously it doesn't need to follow it too tightly. However, if it's a film that's sort of like intertweezed with previous one or like an upcoming one, you need the same director because it's like every character has their own
But
arc.
Marvel...
But they've done it better.
yeah,
I
but
feel-
they're the only ones who've done it good.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I just think they've not done it in the best way, and because like, okay, so as an example, in fucking hell, what's the one before Han Solo? What's that film called?
Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's it. Top Bands. Can tell I'm a true Star Wars fan. But it's like with that one, I just felt like, you know, they just like they killed off some classic characters and I just felt like I've totally lost my train of thought here. Fuck my life.
Akbar. I think you're moving on to the Akbar thing, innit? Because he died like kind of like a nothing way, and you always said,
But even if we put that aside, I kind of felt like with where they were going with, okay, let's go a different route now. Like, because I've totally fucked my mindset. Totally fucked my mindset. If we're talking about character arcs, here's a better route. You've got that big Emperor Ballbag, whatever guy who's this
Yeah.
super villain.
Rumor has it though he's coming back.
That'd be sick.
They think he's Plagueis. So
Okay.
and coming back. That's what I last read. But yeah, sorry, finish.
No,
your
that's
thought.
right. So basically, what I was going to say is that you've got this whole pinnacle of the film where you're just like, that bird is just like
That bird,
bro. I'm calling her that bird, right? Just to simplify it for non-Star Wars fan, you've got a bird who's just on the edge of, you know, going to the dark side and going to the good, right?
Ray.
Yeah, Ray, if you want to call it that. But in the meantime,
Bro, what's your hate towards Daisy Ridley, man?
I fucking love Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, don't disrespect her like that, bro.
I'm memeing.
Disrespect
Bro, I'm memeing.
No, I don't give a shit, mate. You don't disrespect
Fine.
the British actress of Daisy Ridley. That's
I
disgusting.
fucking love Daisy
I don't give a
Ridley.
shit, mate. You don't disrespect her like that, bro. Some bird. How dare you?
Look, mate, we've been talking like in slang for the last 2 hours before this stream. I wanted to carry that on a
It's
little
not a
bit.
stream, bro. We're not on Twitch. This is a different medium, mate.
Oh, didn't realise.
Follow Bacon Awakens.
Follow Bacon Awakens. BaconAwaken.com for exclusive merch. That doesn't exist. Alright, okay, fine. Going back to it. So, Rey, you've got this point of where she's like conflicted about whether she should join the good side or the bad side, or dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
And then you've got Kylo Ren, who's conflicting himself, doesn't want to follow these leaders and wants to follow his own path. And you've got this moment where they're like coming together, and then you've got like
That is sick. You
That
might
was sick.
hate that, but
No,
that
no,
bit is sick.
No, I love it,
Yeah.
right? But what pisses me off is this big ass build up to this, potential Darth Plagueis guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
easily they kill him off. What I think they should have done better, that could have amplified it, right, is that if they had this almost moment where Kylo almost tries to chop him in half, he sees it, and he like pins it off, maybe gets wounded, and then it's this 2v1 between Kylo,
Yeah.
Rey, and Plagueis.
But he's too swole for that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Imagine
but
how sick that would have been.
Ben Swallow is too big to allow that, bro.
But
He's too
imagine how insane that would have been, because then you would have seen
Yeah,
them
yeah.
fighting together,
Yeah,
getting
but
close
then
and
they
close in battle.
kind of did that with Dooku in the prequels, and that didn't end very well. Like, it was kind of lukewarm.
But I'm talking about this series, and I think
Yeah.
the reason why I think it would have worked better is because it's like you're starting to believe it can happen at that point,
Yeah.
and to really like increase the drama if they're fighting the biggest threat in the galaxy at that point, that like the head to the snake. If they fought it and then won, then obviously engaged with those really sick guards, new almost like Senate guards .2 sort of thing. Then they did that, and then they had that moment where like Kylo's like, join me. And then that's like everyone would feel so conflicted in themselves, because it's like they've literally just gone through hell to then suddenly for her to walk away, and then that would have been such a hit in the feels of like shit has hit the pan. And I think that was like one thing that would have been sick, and there's many other things I could say about that film, but that's I just think character arcs in that film weren't so great.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It's like I enjoyed Suicide Squad for what it was. I was just kind of gassed to see the Joker, and it was a weird portrayal. And he's in it for like, 10 minutes, if that. But I think that's the thing. Some films I'll give a pass, but Fast and Furious will never get a pass. But some films do get a pass. Like I'll allow kind of Batman films, but just because I'm a massive fan boy of that, so I don't really care. I'm a big fanboy of it, but I'm not one of those who will just get really annoyed about it. If I don't like it, I'm just like, meh.
I think with myself is obviously I've grown up a Star Wars fan. I think it's also seeing opportunities missed or things that are really like annoyingly frustrating. So just how the Galactic Empire, effectively what they were, the First Order, Galactic Empire is their overall banner. They were like this seriously feared thing, in 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And then in The Last Jedi, it's like everyone says they're feared, but you don't see this power. You see these amazing ships that just get undone within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, when they're like, oh shit, this is like a Death Star, but on ground. It gets fucked over within like 10 minutes.
What are they going to do? Are they just going to build another Death Star in the new one?
But that's what I'm saying. It's so annoying, because it's like, I think they need to play on expectations, because even if they're keeping it to like a low-key PG level, whatever, that's cool. But it's like, I think they just need to play on expectations in a moment of where the good side actually lose, because they kept winning every battle, and they're like, oh, there's only 20 of us, a handful of us left, but we keep winning. And it's like, if you want, especially with Kylo's arc in The Force Awakens, let's go back to that film first. He gets bested by Rey. if he then had another moment where he was against Rey, and you see he's actually like shit, he's so much more powerful now, and he's besting Rey, and then some other thing comes in and causes that, I don't know whether it's a split in the ship or something that causes that moment to split.
Yeah.
I just think it would just add so much drama, and just it'll be so much better in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you would start to fear the Empire like you do in 4, 5, and 6, because it's like you actually see they are powerful. You know, they've got these four-legged walkers which looked insane. Like the visual and audio work on those films were unbelievable. You know, and I know I probably sound like a right old nutcase in how passionately I'm talking about Star Wars, but it's literally just the fact of like missed opportunity where I just think the film could have gone to a whole new level. Like, you know, imagine, no, it doesn't have to be every turn, but just a point of where like the good side actually lose within the film, within one film, not like, oh, the previous film the Empire took over. It's like, well, obviously we know because it fits between these two films and they're obviously going to win. It needs to, like, if you play on the expectations and flip the expectations, it would just work so much better in a storyline, and just also as a story as a whole. And then as a fanboy, I'll be creaming my load, you know. And I think as newcomers like yourself,
I'm not, bro. Don't, again, with the disrespect. First you disrespect Daisy Ridley, now you're disrespecting me, bro. Fuck you. Woo! Jesus Christ! Could we say the words "like" and the phrase "I think" any more times in my life? I really do not know. Thank you for watching, and if you did like the podcast, please leave a comment, and please subscribe as well. Also follow us on Instagram. It's Sam Simon Shorts, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I guess. Peace out.
don't try it.